Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Bears. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another NCAA 24 rebuild here on Madden 24 on the PC. I can't wait until I'm actually rebuilding college football teams on the actual NCAA 24 or whatever it's going to be called, EA College Football 24, whatever they call the game. I forget what they're calling the game. Something stupid because it's EA. But I can't wait till I'm actually rebuilding college teams in that game, which I think the game is coming out in July. I'm still a little skeptical that it's actually going to come out in July, but that's the release date as of right now. But today, we're going to be rebuilding the Alabama Crimson Tide. Roll Tide, baby, because a lot of things have happened from my last college football rebuild to now. I think the last one I did was... Who was it? Was it Florida State? I think the Florida State one was my last one right after they got rejected from the college football playoffs. Or, I guess not rejected. They didn't get chosen to be in the college football playoffs. And instead it was given to Alabama and to Michigan and the other teams that were involved. I forget the other teams. It's only been a couple weeks. I forget who was the other teams involved. Anyway, a lot of stuff has gone down. Oh, Texas. Texas was in it too. A lot of stuff has gone down since that rebuild, mainly to do with Alabama. As you guys know, if you're an Alabama fan or if you're just a fan of college football in general, or you live on Twitter, or you just have a cell phone, you know that Nick Saban has retired from Alabama. He's been the head coach at Alabama for a long, long time. He's won a lot of championships at Alabama. He's had a lot of great players. None of those facts can be denied. That's why they're facts. He's had a lot of Heisman Trophy winners. He's had a lot of national championships. He is the greatest college football coach of all time. It's not really a debate. You can say other coaches, but you have to make more of an argument than you do for Nick Saban. Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time. It's just that simple. So, without him, we're going to try to rebuild Alabama because who knows what's going to happen. They hired Kalen DeBoer, I think is how you pronounce his name, the head coach from Washington, the former head coach from Washington. They hired him to be the new man in charge down in Tuscaloosa. So we are going to find out if Alabama can be reborn, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, out of the Nick Saban era into a new era, the Juice era. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that this roster obviously is the same roster and same mod that I've been using for every other rebuild, so this is all pre-transfer portal news and all that kind of stuff. So everybody's on the original team from this past season. So all of the transfers, Ohio State has none of the transfers that they got in the portal this year. All of the Alabama transfers, Caleb Downs, all of these guys, the quarterback that just left Alabama to go to Ohio State. By the way, being an Ohio State fan right now is pretty good with all these transfers coming in and all these recruits. I mean, it's pretty good. Just going to say that. But a lot of Alabama players, understandably, have left, but in this universe, they're still here because I came in. The Juice came in to try to keep all these Alabama players in Tuscaloosa, so we are going to do that, and we're going to try to rebuild this squad and get them back to the dominance that Nick Saban had. So if you guys go and enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, leave a comment down below letting me know any other college football teams that you want to see in this mod. And if you're not sure what teams are in this mod, just go back and watch one of my previous rebuilds with this mod. I've done Florida State, I've done Miami, I've done Ohio State, I've done Colorado. I've done a bunch of different teams. So go back and watch one of those videos and you can see all the different teams that are involved in this mod. And then leave a comment on any of those videos, but this one too, for other teams you want to see me rebuild in the NCAA football mod here on Madden 24. Without further ado, it's time to get into this rebuild and fix, I should say, save Alabama football. Okay, here we go. This is the squad that we are going to be working with. As mentioned before, the players are still here. So we've got the center McLaughlin. He is not in Ohio State net right now. He is here as our center in Alabama. And then if we go to the defensive side of things, Caleb Downs is right here as our strong safety. They have him as a strong safety in here. I think he plays corner in actual Alabama football last year, but I don't know. I mean, he's going to play strong safety for us, I guess, here, so he can get it. Probably because he has a chance to play at strong safety, because we've got Arnold, we've got McKinstry, we've got Moore. I don't think there's really a lot of play for a young freshman corner in the game, so he's going to play strong safety for us, I guess. But we've got Jalen Milroe. We've got a lot of really, really talented. J.C. Latham is here. Proctor on the offensive line. We got a lot of talent on this team. We need to add some more talent. I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. We do need to add some more talent, but luckily for us, Jalen Milroe has a few upgrades. So I mean, we can give these right away and boost his upgrades even more. I've never tackled a team like Alabama because obviously the history says that Alabama is the best college football program of the last, I don't know, 20 years. You could even say. Even though they didn't really get back into prominence until Nick Saban took over. But I'd say 15, 20 years is probably Alabama's the best team, unless you want to count Ohio State or Clemson or Georgia, something like that. So we're going to try to go at this in a weird way because this is going to be one of the only rebuilds where we're probably going to look for a new quarterback. I'm not saying Jalen Milroe is out of the question, but he's one of the lower quarterback overalls that we've had in one of these rebuilds. I mean, we've had players like Jordan Travis and Shedeur Sanders, and we've had Caleb Williams. We did USC. That was the first one I did. So we've had some top-end talent at quarterback, and Jalen Milroe's along the lines of a what's his face from Ohio State. Why am I blanking on the dude's name? Kyle McCord. I completely blanked on the dude's name. Kyle McCord. He's along these lines in terms of overall because in that rebuild, we actually signed Shedeur Sanders in the transfer portal. So I'm probably going to be looking in other directions here. I'm not saying that Jalen Milroe is out of the question at quarterback. He could certainly develop in this first year and be the guy for us, but 80 overall, well, 79 overall, playing up to an 80. Maybe he plays well this first year, and then we squash all those rumors and we keep Jalen Milroe the entire video. I don't know. That's a possibility. We'll have to see if it happens. But we got a lot of good players on both offense and on defense. Some good linebackers. We'll probably need to look for an outside linebacker, maybe one more defensive tackle, and probably one extra corner. I guess that corner's pretty good. I don't know if we'll need to get corner. We'll take a look at what the transfer portal has at the end of season 1, and we'll see what we need to go for. But the offensive line is looking pretty solid. We might not even need to touch the offensive line. The tight end spot is pretty solid. We do probably need to bring in a few receivers. So I think receiver is going to be the one position that we change pretty big, pretty massively. But other than that, I think we're going to be good. We take on Alabama. We take on Alabama. We are Alabama. We take on Auburn in the first game of the season. I am going to simulate the first year, and we will see how we do. I think we can simulate pretty well. I'm not familiar with how Alabama simulates in this mod. I don't remember. I think they've made the college football playoffs a few times in some of these different rebuilds I've done, but I guess we'll find out here. Usually when you take over a team in Madden as the actual user, the simulation tends to do worse than if it was just auto simmed for some reason, because that's how Madden works. So we'll see how they do. Year number 1, Alabama in a new regime, the Juice regime. Juice, that's a hard thing to say. Juice regime. There we go. Let's roll Tide and see if we get Alabama back to prominence here in year number 1. Season 1 is in the books, and we went 13-4, won the SEC. Well, at least we won the SEC East. And we are in the college football playoffs as a wild card team. A wild card team. We're taking on Auburn, who went 10-7, finished right below us. I like the way that we finished. I think that we are in a good spot. We just need to add a few more pieces. You guys know that these rebuilds don't take very long because a lot of these college football players develop really quickly, and then we win a bunch of we win a bunch of college football national championships, and then it's over. So this one shouldn't take that long either, but we'll see. I mean, we're already in a good spot. And Jalen Milroe had himself quite the season. 4,600 yards, 39 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That is a pretty solid season. And if we get to Super Bowl week and he goes up to star development, that's going to make my decision in the offseason a little bit more difficult to decide if we want to keep Milroe or just go straight for the higher overall quarterback in the portal. I don't know. We'll find out. Jace McClellan, 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's very, very good. Not very good with the yards per carry, but very good season nonetheless. Isaiah Bond, 3 1,000-yard receivers, actually. Isaiah Bond led the team with 1,300 yards, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. Jermaine Burton had 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. And then Ja'Cory Brooks had 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. The tight end did pretty well, too, with 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. So Milroe was slinging the rock. He will definitely be getting some sort of development upgrade, I would say. Deontay Lawson led the team at middle linebacker with 127 tackles. Caleb Downs, look at that, 99 tackles for him. Is it Terrion? Terrion? I think it's the only way it could be pronounced is Terrion, right? Terrion Arnold? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Terrion. If it's wrong, I apologize. Arnold had 96 tackles. Dallas Turner had 87. I like Dallas Turner a lot. I think he's a really good player. 87 for him. Kool-Aid McKinstry had 86. Then we go to the tackle for loss leader was Turner with 23. Jaheim Otis? Yeah, 15. Justin Jefferson had 13. I don't know how to pronounce that. Ebiogibi? I apologize. I do not. I've never even heard that name pronounced, so I don't know. He had 11, though. Chris Bradwell had 6. The sack leader was that guy, Justin, with 14. Dallas Turner had 9.5. Otis had 9.5. Justin Jefferson had 7. That's weird. Feels weird to say Justin Jefferson on defense. The pick leader was Terrion Arnold with 3. McKinstry had 2, along with Caleb Downs and Trey Amos. And then Braswell, a couple guys had 1. So that is where we're looking for the stats. We do take on Auburn, which should be a pretty easy win. I mean, they're 10-7, we're 13-4. I'm assuming we beat them at least once, maybe even twice during the regular season. And I want to point out one thing. Do not, pay any attention to the coach at the top of the screen above my camera. It's something with the mod. They didn't get the coaches imported or I don't know. Something weird happened. They have the pictures, but the NFL coach names are still there, and the coach pictures are the wrong pictures for the schools. It's a whole thing. It's okay. It's totally fine. I think this is still in beta mode technically, so it is what it is. I just wanted to point that out in case you were wondering why it says Zach Taylor and it doesn't even have the right coach on there. So it is what it is. It's playoff time. Auburn, Alabama, the Iron Bowl in the playoffs is kind of crazy, and we beat them 38-14. We take on Miami now, which is the team that we rebuilt before. We've taken Miami back to the heights of all heights. Can we beat them and move on in the playoffs, the college ball playoffs? No, we can't. We lose to Miami University. Okay, so year 1 does not go our way. Year 1 does not go our way. Maybe that makes me think we need to go hard in the portal. That makes me think we need to go pretty hard in the transfer portal and make some big changes for year number 2, because Alabama fans are not going to like losing in the playoffs. They're not going to settle for that. So we need to make some changes happen. The national championship game was USC versus Miami. USC wins it with Caleb Williams getting national championship MVP or player of the game. Jordan Travis wins the Heisman. Look at that, Florida State fans. Jordan Travis wins the Heisman. Roma Dunze wins the Biletnikoff, and we are ready to go to our first off season here. Now, if you're wondering, Juice, why are you saying college football terms for a Madden game? It's because I'm building the immersion. That's why. Let's get to the offseason, get to the portal. Oh, I'm going to quickly bring all these guys back on contracts. I forgot to do that when I was simulating. Don't pay any attention to the contracts. They mean nothing. It's just to get everybody back on the team so that I don't lose them to the transfer portal. And the guys that I don't want to bring back, they can just go and transfer anyway. So, and by transfer portal, I mean free agency. When I say, okay, let me break it down. So, in these rebuild videos, I use college football terms to build the immersion, like I said. So, free agency in Madden is the transfer portal in these rebuilds. And the draft is the signing day, National Signing Day. Now, in previous videos, I've had problems with the draft in this mod where it's like glitched out and it's froze the game and it's crashed the game a few times. So we don't participate in signing day, the draft. We just simulate right past it. And those guys really don't matter that much. So it's all about the players that are in the roster at the start. So we don't really focus too much on the draft or signing day. So it's really all about the transfer portal and maybe making some moves in the trade screen, like doing some of that stuff. That could be possible too. But the draft really doesn't matter. So I just wanted to point out that. I'm going to go and bring all these guys back, and then we are going to move on to the transfer portal. So I will see you guys when that's all done. All right, I got all that done. We are ready to move on. I do, before we go into actual enter the portal stuff, I want to go and see the development upgrades for some of our players. Most importantly, Jalen Milroe. And he does go up to star. He's playing up to an 86. Nobody else on the offense goes up. On defense, we've got Caleb Downs going up. We've got Cote going up to star development. Otis and McKinstry both go up as well. Everybody in this mod starts out as normal development, except for I think a couple of quarterbacks have X Factor right off the bat. But most of the players on every single team start out on a fair playing field, and then you just develop them as you go. So that's pretty good development from, and Braswell got star developments too. I didn't even notice that down there. So he gets star development. Why is he not starting at left outside linebacker? I have no idea. Is he left outside linebacker? What? Yeah, he's a left outside linebacker. I don't know why he wasn't playing. Whatever. He is now. And we've got ourselves a pretty good offensive line. I don't even know, maybe a left tackle just for pure overall purposes. But other than that, I don't even know if we need to work on offensive line. Milroe had a pretty decent season, but he didn't get the job done in the playoffs like I wanted to. So we might need to look in the portal for a new quarterback, like a Sam Hartman, like a Michael Penix Jr., which I have Washington on my list of teams that I want to rebuild. So we'll get to play with Michael Penix Jr. regardless if we don't sign him here. Jaden Daniels would be pretty fun. I haven't used LSU just yet, and he won the Heisman, so that could be pretty fun. Bo Nix wants to be here, but it doesn't matter if they want to be here or not. I'm intrigued by a couple of these guys, but a couple of them are lower overalls than Jalen Milroe, which is an interesting thing. I don't know. There's Ohio State quarterback Will Howard. I don't know where I want to go with this. There's some good quarterbacks in this portal. Oh, I don't know what I want to do, though. Do we stick with him? Do we stick with Jalen Milroe, or do we get our quarterback right off the bat? If I sign anybody lower than Michael Penix Jr. and Sam Hartman, they're not going to start right away over Milroe. I kind of want somebody who's going to put up like these crazy numbers, and Michael Penix Jr. puts up those numbers. I'm going to bring in Jaden Daniels out of the portal. He's not going to start right away, but maybe we make him start right away. That's a possibility. Running back, I could use a running back, unless we stick with the guy that we have, which is possible. I kind of like Devin Neal. I'm kind of feeling Devin Neal. I'm not 100% sure. We'll come back to that. Wide receivers, Jayshon Jones, Taj Washington. None of the huge names are coming out of the woodwork just yet. We might have to wait another year or two to find those huge names out of the portal. But I do want to bring in one guy, and that's probably going to be Jordan Whittington. I'd have to say is probably going to be my guy. So we're going to ask Jordan Whittington to come into the transfer portal and head to Alabama. I'm not going to go for a tight end. We already have a pretty solid tight end. We don't need that. Left tackle was one I was talking about. And we could go for a 96 overall Graham Barton, which we might do just purely on the basis that he's a higher overall than what we have right now. Left guard, Cooper Beebe. Center, Zach Frazier. Zach Zinter at right guard. Christian Jones. On the defensive end is another spot we could look at. Do we want anybody? Do we want to bring in another D tackle is what I was certainly interested in. And I think I'm going to go for Tyler Davis because he's more interested in being here. So we're going to ask Tyler Davis to come into the transfer portal. Brandon Dorless, I like a lot. That's intriguing. Brandon Dorless on the right end spot could be somebody we look to bring in. Peyton Wilson, you guys remember when I brought in Peyton Wilson in, I think it was the Miami rebuild, and he had like 30-something sacks. It was kind of crazy. But left outside linebacker we're pretty good with. Middle linebacker, I think we're also solid at. And then right outside, maybe we need one more guy. Keenan Peely. I don't know how to say his name. He's superstar development now, so he must have had a good season. I think we're good here. I could see myself bringing in one more corner. I know we have some pretty solid corners, but I could see myself bringing in one more. And I don't know if I could pass up on Josh Newton. Although I get Josh Newton all the time. I think I'll go for, is it Jade? Man, I suck with some names sometimes. Barron. We're going to go for Barron, the corner out of Texas, Tejas. And we're going to ask him to come to Alabama. Safeties we're good with, and kicker we're good with. So our targets are Barron, Barton, Davis, Whittington, and Daniels. We're going to see if we get them all, and we don't. We only get 4 so far. Jaden Daniels is still evaluating his offers, and he has officially signed on to Alabama. So we get some pretty big transfer portal signings to add to this team and make us even better. Whittington's going to really help out Milroe, that's for sure. So right now, Milroe will start over Jaden Daniels, but maybe we switch that. I don't know. I haven't fully decided yet. Barton will start at left tackle. The offensive line's pretty much done now. We don't need to work on that. Wide receivers are looking good. We've got some good receivers now, and then we go to the defense side of things. We added an extra corner in, where's he at? There he is, Barron. We add an extra corner there. We've got good defensive line. We add Davis at D tackle. We've got good linebackers, good safeties. We could use a free safety, but we'll wait another year on free safety. I'll go back in the portal and see. I'll go back in the portal and see if there's anybody here at free safety. Tyler Nubin, I like. I might just go straight up for Tyler Nubin. Just bring him in. Get that free safety spot figured out already, and he signed with us. So we got a new free safety now. We're pretty much good. We're going to wait another year to see if there's any more transfer portal names that drop next season. But I like the team that we have right now. I think we're going to be pretty much good to go. So now, since we're not going to do anything with the draft, we can pretty much just go to the next offseason. Or go to the next playoffs, I guess. We don't really need to do anything else with the transfer portal, and we're obviously not doing anything with the draft or the signing day, so we can pretty much I'll see if there's anybody of note in the signing day, see if they draft any like superstar players or something crazy like that, but for the most part we'll pretty much just head straight to the next off season. So let's upgrade these players really quickly. Jaden Daniels has 3 upgrades. That'll take him to an 84 overall, which is pretty much where Milroe's at right now. I think it's even higher than what Milroe's at right now, except for he's playing up with the morale. But I think, yeah, Jaden Daniels is an 84 overall, and he's higher than Milroe even when he doesn't have the whatchamacallits. When he doesn't have the boost, the morale boost. So Daniels could be the guy for us next season. We'll have to find out, but let's go one more simulation here, one more week. We will get through signing day, and we will figure out. So I think what are we, 99s across the board now with that first transfer portal out the gates? I think we're going to have a redemption season in season number 2. I think we're going to be back to a championship caliber team. Let's adjust the roster. Not adjust the roster. Let's take a look at the recap to see if they signed any huge overall players. 74 is the highest. That's nothing. Okay, so none of those guys really matter. I didn't think they would, but you never know. You never really know. Okay, we'll take one final look at the team here in the spring, and we will go get ready for season 2. Season number 2. So we've got Daniels playing at an 84. He's up to an 86. And Milroe's an 82, playing up to an 83. So I'm going to start Jaden Daniels at quarterback for season number 2, and we're going to see if he works better in this offense or not. It's going to be very interesting. But we've got a powerful offense. We've got a really good defense. I think we're primed and ready to get to the national championship game. So I'm going to simulate to the end of season number 2, and I will pick up with you guys in the playoffs. Season 2 is finished, and we finished 15-2. So the additions we made in the transfer portal this offseason really helped us out, especially, I'm assuming, Jaden Daniels, because we wouldn't have really been that good if we didn't have a good quarterback, and I'm assuming Jaden Daniels did very well. We are still not the best team in college football, not being the number 1 team, which kind of sucks, but when you're playing college football, that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes the best team is not always number 1. Jaden Daniels had himself a Heisman quality season. These are the numbers I wanted from Jalen Milroe, and we just weren't going to be getting. Jaden Daniels has given us those numbers. 4,700 yards, 51 touchdowns to just 7 picks. 72% completion percentage. Jaden Daniels has put up crazy numbers. Love to see it. Raheem Sanders had 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. McClellan had 550 and 10 touchdowns. Then the receivers, we had 1,300 yards from Burton with 13 touchdowns. Whittington had 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. A crazy season from him in terms of touchdowns. And then Ja'Cory Brooks had 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. So Jaden Daniels was pushing the paper, if you will. 131 tackles from Deontay Lawson. Arnold had 97. McKinstry had 91. Campbell had 88. Caleb Downs had 85. Tackle for loss leader was Otis with 16. Davis had 14. Braswell 13. So did Turner. Sack leader was Otis with 19. He had a crazy season. I mean, look at these numbers. That could be defensive Heisman. 10 sacks for Tyler Davis. 6.5, 4.5, or just 4. 2.5 from Braswell. Bunch of numbers. Arnold had 8. Wow, that's insane. I didn't even register that for a second. He had 8. And then McKinstry had 3. Braswell, a couple guys had 2. A couple guys had 1. 8 interceptions is actually insane. Okay. So we are into the college football playoffs against Oklahoma. Can we get it done? I mean, we won our first playoff game last season as well. We do win this one, and oh wow, we put up 55 points on Oklahoma's head. That's incredibly cool. Now we take on Tejas, the Texas Longhorns. Are we going to be getting a little horns down action? I think we might be getting some horns down action. Let's get into it. Although I want to see the playoff bracket here. So we got, let me get to it here. We got a The Game rematch. But Ohio State is the number 1 team in college football. That is kind of crazy. We've also got Colorado, Florida State. We've got us in Texas. We got Washington, Penn State. There are some pretty insane teams in the playoffs that are left. But I think we can get the job done and beat Texas pretty easily. Texas and Alabama, we should be able to easily get through this. I guess we'll find out. And we do. Not easy, though. 24-14. We put up 55 against Oklahoma. And we put up 24 against Texas. I guess they're a little bit better. And it looks like we're taking on Florida State in the college football semifinal. So that means they must have beaten Colorado. And they did. 34-24. Ohio State wins the game in the rematch. Love to see it. Makes my heart happy. And then they're taking on Penn State. So another Big Ten matchup right there. Luckily, it's going to be in the shoe and not Happy Valley. And then we are taking on Florida State. I think this should be a victory. I mean, they're the 5 seed. We're the 2 seed. We've got a potential Heisman candidate in Jaden Daniels. I think we should be able to get this job done. Let's see if we can handle Florida State. We've already rebuilt this team. Obviously, it's not the team that we rebuilt that we're going up against. And we beat them, and we are taking on the Ohio State University in a rematch of the 2020 national title game where, unfortunately for Buckeye fans and me alike, the Alabama Crimson Tide won that game. Devonta Smith was just too much in that game. But it's a national championship, Bama versus OSU. Let's go and see if we can repeat what happened, even if it's going to hurt my heart a little bit. We are in the national championship game, and we lead 3-0 over Ohio State. They get a touchdown on the board. Come on, Bama, let's get it going. This feels weird to root for Alabama over Ohio State. And they are absolutely dominating us, but we're fighting back here. 31-12, we put up another field goal. We're not going to beat the Buckeyes with field goals. There we go, 23. We put up a 31. Okay, we tied it, but then they score another touchdown. It's late game. And we lost. Alabama has been defeated by the Ohio State University. I guess I can't be too mad because it's the Buckeyes that won it, so that's awesome. But unfortunately, we're not rebuilding the Buckeyes. I've already done that. If you want to go see that video, it's on the channel. Yeah, that sucks. We lost to Ohio State, but we'll get them next year. We'll have another year of the transfer portal. We should be hopefully either a one-loss team or an undefeated team headed into the third year. So I've got a good feeling about it. I've got a good feeling about next season. We'll come back hungrier, and we'll get the job done. I just know it. I just know it. So the recap, did we win the Heisman? No, Shedeur Sanders won the Heisman. That's annoying. He is pretty good in this game, though, in this mod. He really does pretty well. So Shedeur Sanders gets the Heisman, and we move on to the next offseason. Season 2's offseason. I've already done the re-signing period to get all the guys back on the team that I wanted back on the team. The other guys that we just need to bring back are, we just need to accept these options real quick, which isn't going to take that much time. I just couldn't give them actual contracts. So there we go. Everybody's back now. And now we can quickly and swiftly move into move into the transfer portal. I'm hoping that there's some big names here because I don't even actually know what we need. I'm going to advance to the period, and then I'm going to go take a look at our team because I also want to see development upgrades. I'm hoping Jaden Daniels has gone up because we're going to need him to. Wow, okay, so we've got Jaden Daniels as a superstar development quarterback. We definitely made the right move getting Jaden Daniels on the team. Sanders and McClellan stay at normal development. Burton goes up to star, but nobody else does. We get Diprey? I don't know. The tight end is now star development, and then Booker goes up to star development. So offensive line's looking pretty good now. And then defensively, Otis is superstar, but we don't have any other move. I think McKinstry goes up. I don't think he was superstar, or he was star last year. I don't remember. But he is now a star as well. So we're looking pretty good. If I was going to change anything, we don't need any more corners. We don't need a safety. We don't need linebackers. We don't need defensive line. I don't really know what we can do. Maybe more receivers that are just strictly high overall. That could be the one thing that we focus on. Let's take a look at the portal. See what we need. Wow. Olu Fashanu is in the portal. Oh, that's difficult. Okay. Caleb Williams is here as well. We don't need Caleb Williams. We're going to stick with our guy, Jaden Daniels. Donovan Edwards is in the portal. Braylon Allen is in the portal. There's some good running backs in the portal. And I don't think we need either. I know that none of them have development traits, but they're both pretty high overalls. Receivers, here we go. Xavier Worthy. Okay, Dorian Singer, Roma Dunze. This is the portal that I wanted. This is the portal that I was waiting on. I think we're going to go and we're going to grab a few of these guys. I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to Roma Dunze. I know I go and get Rome all the time, but we're going to talk to him. I'm certainly going to go talk to Malik Neighbors. Absolutely. I mean, we got to pair him back up with Jaden Daniels. And I'm even going to go talk to Xavier Worthy. I don't even freaking care. I'm going to go get the entire receiving core that I want that we can be ready to go for next season. Brock Bowers is in the portal. I want Brock Bowers. I know we don't need a tight end, but if Brock Bowers is in the portal, you got to go for Brock Bowers. Offensive line. There are some really good offensive linemen on this thing, but we just don't need them. We're pretty solid at offensive line. I mean, we could just go strictly for overall boost, like Zach Zinner would be an overall advantage. I guess we'll see. Defensive line, unless there's somebody crazy, I don't think we need anybody. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Barrett Carter. Oh, these are some high overall players for sure. There's some big name. Cooper DeJean is in the transfer portal, but we don't need corner. We're good on corner. We don't need corner. The only other guy that I would think about is Jeremiah Trotter. That would be my only other transfer negotiation. So let's go see who we get. Everybody but Neighbors agrees to come to Alabama. And Malik Neighbors still, through 3 evaluation periods, did not accept. All right, he's being a little stingy. He's being a little stinker. Let's go take a look at the new look Alabama squad, though. We add these players to the team, and I mean, are you kidding me? Brock Bowers is going to start at tight end. He should start at tight end once I move him out of the fullback spot. Brock Bowers is going to start at tight end. We've got Daniels now at quarterback. The receiving core looks unbelievably talented now with Xavier Worthy, with Brooks, and even if we add Neighbors. So the offensive line's pretty solid. Then on the defense, we add in Jeremiah Trotter at middle linebacker. We're good there. Yeah, I think we are pretty good. I mean, I could go for another outside linebacker since he's not the highest of overalls. Maybe that's the one last change that we make. Let me take a little peek. Let me take a little peek at the outside linebackers. 91. That's really not that much higher of an overall than what we have already. So I think we'll wait another transfer portal. We'll probably go around 4 seasons of this rebuild, see what we can do. And this is year number 2. So we'll probably go simulate this year and then go into one more transfer portal and see how we can do with 3 transfer portals. I think we'll be pretty good at that point. We hopefully will be the defending national champions at that point. We'll have to wait and see. I like the changes that we made, bringing in a new receiving core for Jaden Daniels. So if he can't get the job done, and I mean, he put up crazy numbers with the receiving core that we already had, which is already pretty good. But we bring in a Dunze, we bring in Xavier Worthy, we bring in, hopefully, Malik Neighbors. I mean, we bring in some very, very talented receivers with the ones that we already had, like Isaiah Bond and Jordan Whittington. And all these guys, we're already going to be a pretty good football team. Headed into year number 3, with a new look Alabama squad, we are going to roll Tide all over your face, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the recap, see if they brought anybody crazy. A center that's 75 overall, and then a wide receiver in the 5th round. Okay, that's pretty cool. A lot of guys want to, they see the vision. They want to sign and play for Alabama. So we will auto-upgrade all of those players that need those upgrades, and we will get to season number 3. It should go very well. I don't think undefeated, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. We've done it before in these rebuilds. We've gone undefeated. Most of the time, it's 1 loss. Let's go and add this. I do see Malik Neighbors down there. He has signed with the team, so that's nice. But, I mean, look at this squad. We are stacked to the gills, ready to go for season number 3. We're going to make sure that Bowers is starting. Offense looks great. Defense looks great. Let's get it done, boys. Let's go and win a national championship. Well, let's go hopefully undefeated and then get to the playoffs and win a national championship. Year 3's finished, and we did it. We went undefeated. We just collected too much talent in the past 2 portals to not go undefeated this year. 17-0. We are the best team in college football, and it looks like Jaden Daniels finished with 2nd most passing yards, 4,900 yards, 58 touchdowns to just 1 pick, and a 78% completion percentage. Jaden Daniels is the Heisman Trophy winner this season. He has to be. He absolutely has to be. It's just that simple. Raheem Sanders, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. McClellan at 550 and 13 touchdowns, so good job by the running backs. Xavier Worthy, 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns. Adunze, 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. Neighbors had 900 yards, 8 touchdowns. Brock Bowers, 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. We were just throwing the ball all over the place. It was crazy. Roll Tide. Absolutely insane. Defensively, Trotter had 127 tackles. Arnold, 106. Lawson, 100. Tackle for loss leader was Otis with 15. Braswell with 13. Turner with 11. Sack leader was Tavis with 21. At D tackle is crazy. 16 for Otis. He's been having a tremendous rebuild. He's amazing. He might be an X factor after for year 4. Turner had 8. Pick leader was McKinstry with 5. Lawson with 4. Malachi Moore with 4. Arnold had 3. A lot of picks this year, which is probably why we went undefeated, because we were turning people over like crazy. We take on Coach Prime, Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and the Colorado Buffalo, and we beat them. We are in the college football semifinals for the 2nd straight year to take on Florida State. I think we can get the job done. I hope, at least. It's Ohio State versus USC. We have a good shot, a very good shot, of getting a rematch with the Buckeyes and getting our revenge. I think we can do it, but we got to get by Florida State first. It's not going to be easy because they're the 2 seed. They went 15-2. I think we got a chance, a good chance, but we're going to find out right now. Let's see if we can get the job done. Please tell me we didn't go 17-0 just to lose in the semifinals. 28-14 we win, and USC has beaten the Buckeyes, so it will not be a rematch of last year's national title game. It'll be the winner of the first season's national title game, and then us, who lost last season. 13-4 USC has made it to the national championship against us. We're clearly the heavy favorite. Let's go ahead and actually make that happen on the field and hold that national title trophy. It is time for the national title game, and we lead 7-0 early. I think we're a different breed than we were in season number 2. We're 17-3 up on USC. We've just got so much more talent on offense, and we've got an even better Jaden Daniels this year. We lead 23-10 into the third quarter. Into the fourth quarter now. Well, not yet. Now in the fourth quarter, 31-10. Oh, I think it's ball game, ladies and gentlemen. It is ball game, and you know what? I'm not running the football from the 3. We are passing the ball, and we're getting to Brock Bowers here. Go up and get it, Brock. He tried. He was heavily contested the entire way. 2nd and goal. I don't want to run the football. I know we got a good running back in Raheem Sanders, but I've got a potential Heisman quarterback, and I just noticed Jaden Daniels has got that X factor underneath him, and so does Adunze. Oh, we're out here balling like crazy. That's going to be Malik Neighbors, touchdown, Alabama. And the national title has been secured for the Crimson Tide. You love to see it. There it is. Alabama's back on top. The rebuild has been complete, but we're going to go one more season to see if we can repeat as champs in year number 4. But we've done it. We have rebuilt Alabama, brought them back to prominence without Nick Saban. The first national title without Nick Saban in a long time. And we got the job done. I'm just noticing now that Jaden Daniels is wearing number 26, which is hilarious because a lot of traditional football fans don't like when a quarterback doesn't wear a number that's like 1 through 17 or something, 1 through 18. So him wearing number 26 is hilarious. And we get the job done. We win the national championship. And Jaden Daniels threw 299 and 4 touchdowns. Well, 3, but I threw that extra one at the very end. I'd say that is living up to the Heisman hype. And technically, in real life, we would have already known if he would have won the Heisman before that game was played. But let's find out if he really did win it. Headed into the final year, let's see if our quarterback actually won the Heisman Trophy this year. And he did. He won the Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels is the guy. So now we are the national champs, and we've got another transfer portal. One final transfer portal to make the last little bits of changes. I don't even know if there is any changes we need to make. The team is unbelievably talented at this point. I do want to see the adjusted lineup because I want to see the development upgrades. We know that we've got Adunze and Daniels as X factors, and that is true. Bauer's still superstar. Worthy's a star now. For some reason, Sanders and McClellan can't catch a break. They can't go up. But we've got ourselves quite the pairing. And then we go to defensive side of things. Otis has been unbelievable. He's now superstar X factor. McKinstry is superstar. We've got amazing players all around the team. The only thing that we could actually use is maybe getting that upgrade at left outside linebacker. I guess we'll see what is available. And maybe getting an even better D tackle number 2. Not saying that the guy that we have there already is not amazing, because he was, and he had like what, 16 tackles at 16 sacks at D tackle, which is kind of crazy. But we can find out. We can actually find out right here. I'm just gonna quickly go in and do this. Boop, boop, and boop. Make sure those guys come back. And now we can get ourselves to the transfer portal, the final transfer portal, and we can find out if there's anybody that wants to come to Alabama to try to repeat as national champions. We've got Will Johnson. Wow. We don't need a corner, but when Will Johnson is staring you in the face, you can't say no to that. Quarterback, we're sticking with our guy. Running back, I mean, it's very tempting to go for one of these guys, but I'm just going to stick with Sanders and McClellan. Wide receiver, Dorian Singer there's not really anybody that's better than what we have already. So we're going to stick with the receivers we have. We're going to stick with the tight ends. Offensive line we're good with. And then the defensive line is the only other position will be D tackle. We'll go with T'Vondre Sweat. We'll offer him a contract. He's a better overall than what we have. And then left outside linebacker was the only other one. And it's still the same guys. Abdul Carter's not a higher overall than what we have. Even though I do love Abdul Carter. I mean, we could make one of these guys an outside linebacker, I guess. But I think we'll just stick with what we have. And we're gonna go for Will Johnson, and we're gonna be fine with that. And that is probably gonna be our two targets. We're gonna go for Will Johnson and T'Vondre Sweat. They both agree to sign with Alabama. So we got ourselves quite the team. We had a couple new pieces that we technically didn't really need, but still two very, very solid pieces for the final season to run it back and win a second national title in a row. This will go down as one of the least amount of championships I've won in one of these college football rebuilds, regardless if we win two or if we win one, because I've won multiple. I've won like 3 or 4 with most other teams. They drafted an X Factor center. Hold on. Let's break the fourth wall for a second. The CPU just drafted me an X Factor center last offseason. This Larry Croft dude. What? Why can't I get this in one of my other rebuilds? Like, that's not college football. Why can't I get this one of my Madden rebuilds? That's insane. An X Factor center. I've never seen that before. Did he have Superstar? What's his progression history? Did he have Super Bowl? Or did he have Superstar? I can't see it. He didn't go up from X Factor, Superstar to X Factor at Super Bowl week, so either he started out as a Superstar development player and got up last season, I just didn't notice it, or he was an X Factor the entire time. Maybe one of you guys can point it out, or maybe I'll see it in editing, but that is kind of crazy that they drafted me an X Factor center. Wow, okay. So we're going to head into season number 4. We are going to try to repeat as world champions for the second straight year. I think we can do it. We went undefeated last year. What's to say we can't go undefeated this year? Let's go and find out. The final season has wrapped up, and in typical Madden fashion, we didn't go undefeated for the second straight year, but we only lost 1 game, so you can't be too mad about that. We are the defending champs, and we played like it. So let's take a look at the stats. It seems like Jaden Daniels went second in the league again, and he did. 4,700 yards, 49 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a 74% completion percentage. Is that going to be good enough to win back-to-back Heismans and join the elusive club of Archie Griffin, Shadur Sanders, some other people? Caleb Williams might have done it one of these rebuilds. I can't remember. There's been a few players that have done this in some of these rebuilds. But that's a fantastic season. Raheem Sanders, if he doesn't go up to star development after this season, 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns. Are you kidding me, bro? That's got to be star development. McClellan had a good year as well. Xavier Worthy, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. Adunze, 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns. Brock Bowers finally gets over 1,000 yards, and he gets 15 touchdowns as well. Then you got defensively, you've got Trotter with 111 tackles, Arnold 85, Downs had 80, Lawson 78. Tackle for loss leader was Davis with 10 and Otis with 10, and then Trotter with 5. Sack leader was Davis with 18. He has been killing it since we brought him in. He leads the team for the second year in a row in sacks. Otis had 15, and then it drops off a cliff. Pick leader was Lawson, Johnson, and McKinstry, all with 4. Arnold had 3. Downs had 2. Good season. Good season from the boys. And we will take on Georgia in the playoffs here. Come on, Bama. Roll Tide. And we shut the door. Shut them out. 42-0 to take on Colorado, who we already beat last season. We shut out Georgia. That's insane. It's 1 versus 2 and 1 versus 4 over on the other side of the bracket. The college football semifinals have been decided. Bama, Colorado, Ohio State, Washington. Are we going to get that rematch that we ever so wanted to get our payback? How sweet would it be that in the final season, we go to the national title game and beat Ohio State, who beat us in year 2? That would be poetry. It would be so poetic, but we got to get through Colorado first. I think we can do it, but Colorado is no slouch. They've beaten us before, and they can do it again. This is going to be a tough one. Absolutely not a cakewalk by any means. But we did it. It turned out to be a cakewalk, 38-3, and we have gotten our rematch. Ohio State and Alabama will meet in the national title game for the second time in 3 seasons. It's the fairy tale ending that we wanted, but we got to go actually out there and finish the job. So let's go try to get this done. I think we can. We have a much more talented team than we had in Season 2, obviously. So I think we can get this done, but we actually have to do it on the field. This would be a super fairy tale ending if we were able to beat the Buckeyes in a rematch of the national title game from a couple seasons ago. It's not going to be easy, though. Buckeyes are good, but we lead 21-7, 28-10. That happened quick. 35-10. Maybe it is going to be easy. 42-10. Where'd this offensive output come from? We are putting up crazy amounts of numbers. I want to jump in here now. 45-24. This one's basically in the bag, but I want to use some of the players that we've got on this team for a reason. Oh, I'm going to Dunze. End zone, ball game. Jaden Daniels to Roma Dunze for the touchdown in the national title game. We've got it done, and we are going to put up 52 points on Ohio State in the national championship. Is kind of crazy. They actually put up another touchdown, but it's not going to matter. It's 52-31. And we've gotten our revenge. And hopefully we've gotten ourselves a 2-time Heisman winner in Jaden Daniels. But we've gotten our revenge. We are a 2-time national champion. We have successfully rebuilt Alabama into the powerhouse dynasty that they were with Nick Saban. And now in the post-Saban era, they are once again a national title champion and a dynasty in college football. We have done it. 2 separate dynasties in the last 25 years, you could say. Absolutely insane. 2 out of 4 is not bad. 2 out of 4 in the rebuild's not bad. I wish it would have been 3 out of 4, but the Buckeyes took that second one from us, or the year 2 one from us. But let's wrap up this video by seeing if Jaden Daniels joins that elusive, illustrious company of a 2-time Heisman winner. No! Kyle McCord has taken the Heisman. What a turn of events. Oh, out of all people, I would have never guessed Kyle McCord. Marvin Harrison wins the Biletnikoff, which is understandable. He's the best receiver in college football. We do win. Jaden Daniels does get himself the MVP of the national title game, but that doesn't matter because he doesn't get himself a second Heisman. Kyle McCord. And for, I think, the first time in all of these rebuilds, we have 4 different quarterbacks winning the Heisman. It was year number 1, Jordan Travis. Then it was Shadur Sanders. Then it was our guy, Jaden Daniels. Now it's Kyle McCord. That's pretty crazy, but it is what it is. And we can go into, after we upgrade these guys, we can go into the lineup screen to see for one last time this Alabama roster. We have rebuilt them back to prominence, back to the dominance they once held, and finally Sanders gets himself star development. Worthy's superstar. Dalcourt goes up to star on the offensive line. Bowers is now superstar X Factor. The offensive line's amazing, which is not a surprise. And then on defense, we get no real upgrades. Godfrey. Who's Godfrey? Whoever this Juan Godfrey guy is, he might be one of the guys that we've drafted, that the CPU drafted. He's a superstar development player now. We are looking real good. Arnold's a star development. I mean, this team just got better and better every single season because we utilized the transfer portal very well, and we got 2 titles for Alabama. So Alabama fans, if you're watching, I hope you enjoyed. I hope everybody enjoyed, but I hope you guys are satisfied with the dynasty that I've rebuilt for you after Nick Saban has retired from your program, and you got Kalen DeBoer, who it's not looking good for him because he's lost a lot of talent. mainly to Ohio State, but hey, what am I gonna say? I'm not gonna complain about it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Like I said at the beginning, if you have any other team suggestions, you've seen a lot of the teams now in these in this video as well. So if you want to see any team rebuilt, leave them down below in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.